Hello friends, let's see the urogenital triangle. For the understanding of the urogenital triangle, we have to see this image, and this is the image of the bony pelvis from below. So we can see the pelvic outlet from below. And this black pen, it represents one imaginary line which passes through the anterior part of the ischial tuberosities of the both the sides, and this imaginary line will divide the pelvic outlet into two triangles, one triangle anterior, and this anterior triangle, that is the urogenital triangle, and one triangle on the posterior side, and this is the anal triangle. When we see the boundaries of this urogenital triangle, we can appreciate that it is anteriorly bounded by inferior margin of the pubic symphysis along with one ligament, and that ligament, it is the arcuate pubic ligament. Posteriorly, this urogenital triangle, it is bounded by this imaginary line, and this imaginary line, it passes through the anterior margin of the two ischial tuberosities. And anterolaterally, this urogenital triangle, it is bounded by the lower margin of this ischiopubic ramus. When we see within this urogenital triangle, in case of male, it has one opening, and that opening is of the urethral opening, while in case of female, it has one additional opening along with the urethral opening, and that is the vaginal opening. And in case of female, both these openings are present within the vestibule, which is bounded on each side by the labia minora. The name of this urogenital triangle, it is from the opening which are present within this urogenital triangle. In case of female, it has two openings. One is the urethral opening and one genital opening, that is the vaginal opening. And in case of male, the urethral opening and the genital opening both are the same as the urethral opening. So this triangle is called as the urogenital triangle because of the openings present within this triangle. Now let's see this urogenital triangle in little bit more detail. But before going into detail of the urogenital triangle, let's see the structures from superficial to deep side. So we can say from outer side to inner side, which are present within the urogenital triangle. As we already know, this perineum, it is the direct continuation with the anterior abdominal wall, and that's why the layers of the anterior abdominal wall, they are concerned with the layers of the perineum. So when we put cadaver in lithotomy position, we can first have to put incision over the skin. So at the outermost side, or we can say superficial most side, the skin is present just deep to the skin, as like that of the anterior abdominal wall. This perineum also having a superficial fascia, but this superficial fascia, like that of the anterior abdominal wall, it has two layers. The outer layer, that is the superficial fatty layer, and the superficial fatty layer, it is the continuation of the superficial fatty layer of the camper of the anterior abdominal wall. And deep to that, this one more layer of the superficial fascia lies, and this layer, it is the deep membranous layer, and this deep membranous layer, it is continuation with the Scarpa's fascia of the anterior abdominal wall, and this layer, it is particularly in the perineum, is called as the Cooley's fascia. Now when we see just deep to this deep membranous layer or the fascia of the Cooley's, which is actually the part of the superficial fascia, we find the content of the superficial perineal pouch, and the upper limit of the superficial perineal pouch, it is bounded by one membrane, and that membrane, it is called as the perineal membrane. And within this superficial perineal pouch, few muscles are present which are responsible for holding the external genital organs in case of male as well as the female, and few other nerves as well as the vessels are present. We are going to see them later on in detail. Just above the perineal membrane, we find one more space, and that space, it is the deep perineal pouch. And this deep perineal pouch, it is superiorly bounded by the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. Within the deep perineal pouch, few other muscles are also present and some structures are also present, and we are going to see them in detail later on. For the revision point of view, when we put incision within the urogenital triangle from superficial to deep side, we can get 7 layers, and these are the skin, and then the superficial fatty layer, then the fascia of the Cullis, then we find the superficial perineal pouch, then the perineal membrane, then the deep perineal pouch, and then the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. And within this 7 layer, the last 3 layers, or we can say the deep 3 layers, collectively called as the urogenital diaphragm. So urogenital diaphragm, which is present within the urogenital triangle, which is made up of the deep perineal pouch covered with the perineal membrane superficially and the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm deeply. So these are the layers of the perineal area in the urogenital triangle. So we can say that this urogenital area, or we can say urogenital triangle, it is made up to prevent the prolapse of the genital organs, particularly in case of female, and that provide additional support to the pelvic diaphragm, which is present just superior to this urogenital diaphragm. But this urogenital diaphragm, it is present only in the anterior aspect, or we can say only in the urogenital triangle, while the pelvic diaphragm, which covers the both urogenital triangle as well as the anal triangle. Now let's see all these structures one by one in more detail.